Authorities have now released the dashcam footage of the traffic stop, which led to police officer Michael Slager shooting Walter Scott in the back 8 times, killing him in South Carolina. Here in the video, we see the moments that led up to the fatal shooting, and you'll see the officer walking up to the vehicle, which is occupied by Walter Scott and another passenger, and you will see Walter Scott get out of the vehicle and run, reportedly because he was worried that he'd be arrested for late child support payments, which did lead to a warrant out for him. Let's take a look at the dashcam video. Fox News reporter Geraldo Rivera felt that the video completely exonerates Officer Michael Slager with regard to murder charges, which have been filed against the police officer. Let's see if we can understand exactly what Geraldo's argument is here.
Well, I'm extremely glad that they released the dashcam video because it gives context to the event. However horrific and tragic and outrageous the shooting in the back is, it shows that it started as a righteous traffic stop. There was a light out. There was a light out. The driver was acting very hinky, very edgy. He got out of the car, was told to get back in the car. Clearly, the officer involved was checking to see whether there were outstanding warrants. The victim knew there was the outstanding warrant for unpaid child support. He bolts. The officer runs after him. The taser comes out. There is a struggle. This part we don't see. You don't see, but there is a reliable, I think, a reliable eyewitness account that there is a struggle after the taser. So up until that point, the cop with his adrenaline pumping, now he's been in a physical tussle. Now, the perpetrator has reached for the taser allegedly. Now it gives you the context of his blood boiling. He has done everything professional, and now he's had this civilian has dared to physically have this altercation with the officer. Put that in the officer's head now. I think it saves him from the murder rap.
Well, listen, nobody was arguing that the traffic stop was bogus, right? I didn't hear that argument made at all, Lewis, which is the entire traffic stop to begin with was bogus. It does seem that there was a brake light, a tail light out there. Rivera seems to be basing his assertion that this is not murder on the statute in South Carolina law, which says that for it to be murder, it requires malice aforethought, which is that the officer had to go into the entire incident intending to shoot Walter Scott. But that's not the way the law is written. This so-called malice aforethought can be generated instantly, right? It doesn't matter if he didn't go into the entire traffic stop with the intent to kill Walter Scott. What matters is when he made the decision to fire those 8 shots, which any reasonable police officer should assume could kill a person, was that warranted? And that's really what the case should hinge on.
I think, I don't like the argument in general. I don't think the video shows anything that would, it's pretty, and it seems like the guy is just trying to get away. In every video, the eyewitness, it seems like he's just trying to get away, and he didn't seem to be a violent person. So I think the second he perhaps started disobeying, pushing away, retreating, the officer could have thought, oh, this guy wants to disobey me. Well, I'm just going to kill him. And that seems like it could be malice.
And it's it's skipping several steps, which is what we know about the law in South Carolina, which is that the police officer, to use force of death, force that could cause death, a deadly force against a suspect who is fleeing, can only be applied if there's a reasonable suspicion that that individual getting away would directly lead to the deaths or serious risk of others. This individual, as far as the officer knew, was not suspected of having killed anyone or any kind of violent act, so it would be a stretch to think that that was a reasonable assumption. We will wait and see what happens with the case. We actually have charges here, which we often don't have in these cases, so I think we just need to wait and see, Lewis, but Geraldo saying this exonerates the officer is ludicrous.
It's ludicrous. Ultimately, I think will it be murder? Will it be manslaughter? I don't know. I honestly, I would like to see a murder charge here.
Well, we have a murder
conviction,
charge,
sorry,
murder conviction.
conviction.
I assume. Yeah, absolutely.